March 2nd. Please stand for a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Allen? Here. Darnell? Here. DePalma?
Here.
Cordella?
Here.
Marshall?
Here.
Rumble?
Here.
Thurman?
Here. At this time, we need to approve our agenda, and I would like to add on the agenda a resolution to oppose House Bill 5550 and set safeguards. I'm not sure if the board wants to add it before or after our closed session.
My preference would be before.
Yeah, probably before is better.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put that as item K and move all the other items down one. Comes in.
And what are you calling that again?
Resolution to oppose House Bill 5550
Oh, okay, the regional
and
transit.
set safeguards.
Okay.
Are there any other changes to the agenda that anyone would like to? Okay. Want to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I will.
Okay. Who would like to support?
Support.
I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Marshall to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously. So we can move on to our reports. We have our regular monthly treasury report, our general ledger report. And I forgot to ask, will we be having this year on our next report?
Yeah, if you want it. Yeah, we'll add it on.
All right, thank you. And then our designated report is also included, our building department report, and our building department did a year-end report for us. He's not here to talk about it, so we'll go on. We also have our recreation report, and our recreation director is here. So, Mr. Wayburn, if you'd like to step up.
Yeah, other than the report that you have some things that have happened since I wrote that, and if I could, I would like to just briefly go over updates on the grants. We have a 2016, 2017, 2019, and we're preparing a 2020 grant. So first, let's start with the 2016, because the weather's about ready to break. And I met with engineers, HRC, down at their building, then once again, a conference call with Kathy and I up here. They are preparing final stages and a completion date for the 2016, which is the 2 baseball fields and this parking and all the bells and whistles that go with it. And I also met with Barry Bass from Bedrock and Tim Marley from AIS, which is a equipment rental place for the big bulldozers and stuff, and trying to put together a game plan to start work once the weather breaks. So we're looking pretty good there. We also have...
Hey, Fred, real quick
Yeah.
question. Where's the entrance to the park at on this map?
down here.
Okay, way down there.
The
Okay.
way, that's all shaded out because we're just a print on the grant itself.
Okay, just wondering. Trying to get a perspective.
I went through the first stage of getting our extension for the 2016 grant. That passed. Went through the stage for the second round. That passed. March 9th, Mary Carlock gets back from vacation. We're first on her list to do the final stage of that extension and to get our PSBs approved. PSB, there's basically plan specification and vendor selections. So she had the plan specification, we moved from 4 fields to 2 fields, so that's the specification of things. And the vendors are the people that we use for the contract out the job. So I'm looking forward to seeing, getting the details on that on March 9th. The 2017 grant is in process. That deadline's, oh, by the way, our new deadline is we're shooting for, what they're going to give us is the end of June of this year. The deadline for the 2017 grant is June of 2021, but more than likely we'll be done with that pretty much the same time we're done with the 2016 grant, which is your volleyball courts. These two have sand. This one's been excavated. These walkways are excavated. The stones got to be put in. And then part of the 2017 grant is this part of the drive here parking. It's not excavated, and the basketball court, which is not excavated. So that's a project that we're going to be starting on the spring as well. The game plan I got with AIS today was when to bring in heavy equipment, when to get it out of there, and bring in something else so we don't have stuff sitting around where we're spending money on it. We're going to be shooting for a July 10th grand opening with the DNR. More to be determined as the project moves forward. For the 2020 grant, or the 2019 grant, the concession stands, the first round of the paperwork's done and submitted and approved. We will be looking at a new resolution to sign and an agreement to sign in August, late August. Then it's another 3 months prior to be able to do anything, so more than likely the spring of 2021 is when we'll start that project.
And where is that concession stand going to be?
That's right there. Whoops, I'm sorry. Right there. It's going to have an engineered septic field, underground power, well, its own well, shelter, then the concession stand and the comfort station, 2 unisex bathrooms. We're looking at, we have a design by HRC, and one of the discussions with Jamie was if the DNR will allow for a contractor to come in, taking that shell and bidding it out as design build, and they don't allow that. So we're going to end up getting blueprints of some sort for that. So we look forward to getting that agreement signed. On the 2020 grants that we're going for, the 2 other baseball fields, the parking lot that's going to continue all the way down to the property line with the emergency turnaround. The grant's going to be a $300,000 grant that we already talked about. We'll have a special meeting on March 18th to have a public input and then the signing of the resolution. Prior to that, I have a park subcommittee meeting coming up, I think it's on the 12th, that we also will discuss numerous things that are happening with the DNR grants. And then the other grant, doesn't show it over here, but this is phase 3, and we're writing a $45,000 grant for a gazebo. And we'll see where we get with that. Any questions?
I have one, Fred.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have a firm commitment from the heavy equipment rental company that we're going to have the equipment when we need it? Or are we
Yeah.
going to have to wait in line with,
Nope.
behind somebody else?
We got a commitment.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Thanks.
Met with them this morning.
Super.
Anything else?
Anybody else? Thank you, Fred.
All right, looking forward to getting this baby done.
Okay, next we have a Sheriff Department year-end report, and Lieutenant Glover is here to give us a rundown on that one. I think they want to move your podium.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
Just thinking.
Is that good?
Okay, I think we're good.
It's that time of the year again, so I'll give you our year-end report. Calls for service this year between the Township and the Village of Ortonville. We've responded to 7,612 dispatch calls. with an increase of 89 dispatch calls for the year. I gave you a breakdown of 6,519 calls for the township, and the village, 1,093 calls. The village numbers are really skewed because of all of the walk-ins at the substation. I mean, on a daily basis, we'll have 10 to 20 walk-ins at the substation, and unfortunately, those are recorded as village calls because of the substation being in the village, so it always looks high. Traffic enforcement, we issued 2,091 traffic citations this year. I gave you a breakdown of those, and obviously the heaviest are moving violations. We gave out, I think, 575 warnings out of that 2,000 tickets, which is quite high. We also wrote 122 appearance tickets, ranging from trespassing to disorderly persons to domestic violence. We also include OUILs, that because, and what that is it's a ticket we give them. We still lodge them for certain crimes, but it's a ticket that we hand them, and that's their court date and whatnot on that ticket. With an appearance ticket, we have the option of releasing them on the ticket and not jailing them, which we do time to time. 11 drivers were arrested this year for operating under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs, which is down a little bit from last year. When I first came out here, we were averaging around 60 a year, 58 to 60 drunk drivers, which is quite high. We've been down into like I said, almost to single digits last year, which is quite low for out here. In addition to the regular traffic enforcement, we responded to 324 traffic-related crashes, 333 traffic accidents in 2018, so we were down a little bit. This includes both private property as well as UD-10s on our state roads. Our narcotics enforcement team conducted 4 lengthy investigations out here and executed 3 search warrants and arrested 4 individuals. All of those were involving cocaine and heroin, both. Our school liaison, this year I was able to use the school liaison officer to help alleviate the cost of hiring overtime, especially through the summer or on days that I don't need him in the detective bureau. I utilize him to fill overtime on day shift and afternoons when I can. And this year, like I said, I was able to save the township about $8,000 in overtime cost. I was able to utilize the school liaison without having to hire overtime to fill that position, which is pretty significant. The school liaison caseload, and I gave you a breakdown by each of the 4 schools. We were involved in 420 school-related incidents this year, with 42 of those being actual investigations. The incidents involved were situations where the school specifically asked for our assistance. It doesn't include things that we get involved in, but where they've actually called us, one of the schools, and said, "Hey, we need you out here." As it usually is, our high school has the majority of those with 289 incidents, followed by 73 at the middle school. The 289 at the high school, I mean, we have something that goes on there almost daily. The vaping seems to be almost out of control. In the cars as well as in the schools. We've had a couple of incidents recently where kids are using the vape pens with THC in them, and we'll get a call where the THC is so high that if they've taken 1 or 2 hits off of it, they can't even function. And that's causing us some issues up there. In 2018, we had 454 school incidents, so we're down a little bit. Our crime statistics and clearance rate, which is a rate that the federal government rates us on, and it's on certain offenses. We had 183 incidents that the feds actually rate us on, and that's the ones that are used for the safest townships, safest villages that they use throughout the state. Out of those 183 incidents, 106 of those resulted in arrest, where we made an arrest on those individual incidents. 19 were exceptionally cleared, meaning there was no prosecution sought in those cases. 19 were exceptionally cleared with no prosecution. Our substation, Brandon Township, had a clearance rate this year of 68.31% on all micro-reported offenses. Last year, we were at 64%. We're 4% higher. We're the highest out of our 14 substations, and we seem to keep going up. I mean, the guys we take pride in the arrests we make on those, on any reportable offense, let alone the cases that the government actually rates us on.
That's awesome, and I think you guys should be commended for that.
It's quite high.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the last, I'm going to say probably the last 4 years, I believe we've been the highest in the county. This year, we were higher than I expected with 68%. So the guys are making a lot of arrests on major cases and prosecution on those. So in summary, our 89 dispatch calls, that's not a lot of an increase. However, anytime we have an increase in calls and investigations, it puts a little bit of a tax on our detective bureau because it requires court, care house interviews, that type of thing, where it takes us out of the township more often. It's not something that we can't deal with. Like I said, 89 over the course of a year is not that big. One of the things that really went up this year was our traffic accidents involving car versus deer. We had 103 accidents this year of car versus deer. Every one of the patrol cars in my fleet this year were involved in a car-deer accident, including mine. So every one of them were down at the shop at one time for car-deer accidents. And that's up from 87 last year. Last year we were high, but this year it was off the charts. Our traffic enforcement, again, is always a focal point with our substation. I still believe that has an effect on our drunk drivers. I think more people are getting rides when they know we're pounding M15 and the main thoroughfares that go through the township. I mean, it's almost comical sometimes because if we set down the road from the boat bar, they'll send somebody out to look up and down the road to see if the coast is clear before they send somebody out of there. So I think it does have an effect on that. We've also made a strong effort in being more visible in problem areas, not only on the main roads, but also the back roads. We continue to get a lot of calls about speeders on the back roads. And with the new section of Sashaball being paved, I have set out there personally on Sashaball, and it's a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit on that paved section. On occasion, we'll get somebody into the 60s. But it's very rare. Most of them are within that speed limit, and unfortunately, the residents, when you see them zipping by on the pavement, they think they're going a lot faster than they are. So, and of course, we have other areas in the township too on the back roads where we continually get calls about the speeders and whatnot, and we've tried to hit those as much as we can. So again, I'm very proud of the guys that I've got assigned to the substation. Most of the guys are township residents, a lot of them, what I think takes a little bit more pride in closing those cases and making sure we don't have a bunch of unsolved cases out there. So, any questions for me at all?
Anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
And this has nothing necessarily to do with the report. It's sort of a clerical issue. When say you have a B&E guy, they're not going to stick in one neighborhood. They're not going to stay in Brandon Township, so they're in different townships as well. If another township makes an arrest, do you still get a clearance for years?
No.
It goes to the other. Okay.
Goes to the other town.
I wasn't sure if it went
Yeah.
to the department or went to our station.
It will go to ours as long as we get the opportunity to interview them, and then they fess up to our arrest or to our cases.
Right.
And we've had quite a bit of that lately because we have an influx of Pontiac in the southeast corner of our township. And if you've looked at the paper the last couple of weeks, I gave them, we had a drive-by shooting where a trailer was shot up with gunfire. That was a narcotics deal. Those were Pontiac residents. We had an armed robbery in there last weekend involving guns. Those were also Pontiac residents. We went down and made those arrests with the assistance of our Pontiac substation, and we bring them back to do our own interviews. So obviously, we get credits.
then.
We get cleared
Okay.
on those
Right.
cases, yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yep. So,
Any other questions? All right.
I don't know.
Good
Okay.
job.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
All right, next, we have the Edna Burton Senior Center report, the CDBG report, and that brings us to trustees' report. I don't remember which way I started last time.
It's not that many of us, I don't think it matters.
All right, we'll start with trustee Rumble.
I don't have anything tonight, thank you.
Okay. Trustee DePalma.
I don't have anything either. None of my subcommittees met. Thank you to all of the Oakland County Sheriff officers. Good report. Good job.
Trustee Marshall.
I don't have anything as far as a report. I'd just like to thank, I want to make sure everybody knows how lucky we have it. We have an exceptionally good fire department. We have exceptionally good substation commander and officers. We're pretty lucky here as far as protection goes. Thank you.
We're all in agreement on that.
Definitely.
Trustee Cordella.
I agree with that. Just a quick note, we had a planning commission meeting last week, Tuesday, that I was unable to make due to a prior doctor appointment, but just a little update is still working on the master plan, and we plan to get that all put together still by October, and also in looking at the notes that I got like 3 days after the meeting, I see that I believe it's Mr. Denon who was given the task of basically revising and putting in changes to the animal ordinance thing. So we are working on that, and the planning commission also. And we are getting together on a monthly basis, at least, to work on the four-year plan.
Okay.
Fortunately, I had to miss last week's meeting, but that's it for the planning
Okay.
commission.
All right, thank you. Now we move on to the treasurer's report.
As of today, the township is no longer able to receive tax payments. Any unpaid taxes are now payable at Oakland County with revised statements from the treasurer's office. The townships are now preparing to balance to the state of Michigan, so we cannot change any of our dollar amounts. So if you have any questions at all pertaining to taxes, please call our office.
Okay, thank you. Clerk's report.
Welcome, everybody. Glad to see y'all. Almost all the chairs full. Thanks for coming out on this great day. First of all, I want to let you know elections are keeping the clerks busy. And I want to put kudos out to all the staff for keeping up every day. We are putting out lots of ballots and applications and registering new voters almost daily, so which is great. We hired 10 new election workers, 9 of which will be working. One had an accident and is not able to, but there are applications available for anybody who wants to work an election for August and November. Keep that in mind. I did hire a fill-in worker who helped out get all our supplies ready, and so that we're good to go this week, which is crunch week. We're going to be seeing our counter busy. Everybody who wants to work the e-poll book, which is the electronic poll book, it's a laptop. We have training this Thursday and Saturday. And the clerk's office will be open this Saturday from 8 till 4, in case you want to come in and get an absentee ballot or register to vote. Our public accuracy test went very well. Jason Rumble and Chris Cordella are both on that committee, and we had no citizens there, but that's okay. Maybe next time. Thursday, I'll be attending the annual Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance Annual Breakfast. And lastly, our workers' compensation audit will be held on March 16th. And our regular audit will begin March 29th. Everybody have a great St. Patty's Day.
I have a question for you, Candy.
Sure.
I think it was on Friday, I got an application for absentee ballot. Isn't that cutting it short for your office?
Oh, we can take them right up until 8 o'clock
Really?
on Election Day. Yep.
I thought, these poor people are going to be flooded with all these last-minute applications.
Yeah, well,
Change in the law.
yeah. And
I
we're
have a-
lucky that we have a Rosalind Blair working full-time in our office this year, which really has helped out a lot, because it's nonstop. And it's getting, this week will be crazy, but we're prepared for it. So, we have sent out lastly 1,167 absentee voter ballots, and we've gotten back 733, which is 63%.
Wow.
So it's pretty good.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What was it that you're open for this Saturday? It got by me so fast.
Anyone could come in this Saturday and register to vote, get a ballot, get an AV.
Okay.
You have to vote in the building, though.
So the absentee ballot, you can take those up until the day of the election now with the
8
new law.
o'clock.
And you can register to vote the day of too now, correct?
Up till 8 o'clock.
Okay.
But
So you're-
anyone on election day who comes in to register has to stay in the building to vote.
Okay.
So we're going to have to set up a
Little
booth.
there. And that's Saturday, this Saturday from 8 to 4?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Clerk Allen. As far as the supervisor's report, I first want to start out by saying, please do not bring any campaign materials within 100 feet of the township office building. That's our policy, and I guess last month we had 1 or 2 people with some shirt. Oh, it was you?
We weren't going to tell who it was.
But I didn't notice, but just moving forward, because we are in the campaigning season, please do not bring them into the township offices. We've begun to accept input on our master plan, as Chris was saying. We would like to get feedback from all of our residents, so please go to our township website, which is www.brandontownship.us, and fill out the survey online, or you can come into the front hallway, as you all have passed by up there, and fill out a paper survey. So we'd like to hear from everyone. Assessment notices were mailed out last week. Please call my office at 248-627-4918 and let me know if you did not receive an assessment notice. Our Board of Review are currently taking appointments. You can come in or call for an appointment before March 13th, and the appointment dates are going to be on March 11th, 12th, and 16th. And that's if you don't agree with the assessment that you were given. They're trying to push another bill through Lansing that would allow for the whole county to be taxed for mass transit instead of a core service area. I went to Lansing last Friday to testify in front of the Transportation Committee opposing that bill. They ended up voting it through anyway, and it may make it to the House as early as tomorrow for a vote. Representative Riley and Senator Johnson are against it, and they've been working hard trying to make sure other senators and representatives understand our position.
Mention that the thing we added was Resolution House Bill 5550, which has to do with this. So if
And we're going
anybody
to be
wanted
taking that up at the end of the meeting.
Right, but if anybody wanted to speak at comments, they didn't,
Oh,
they
yes.
might not have
So,
known
yeah,
that that's
okay.
what the House bill was that we added, so if anybody wanted to speak about it at comments. I didn't mean to interrupt your report, but I just figured people might not know what that stood for.
Okay. So we can also use everyone's help in contacting their friends and families if they live outside of our township. Please ask them to contact their representative and senator and encourage them to oppose the bill, which is House Bill 5550 right now is the one that they're trying to push through. And they only came up with this bill last week, and they're trying to get it approved already for this week. It's
That's
just not right. Skywarn is offering spotter training again. The closest class is going to be in Independence, and that's going to be on March 30th at 7 p.m. Call 248-858-5300, which is one of the county's numbers, if you're interested in the Skywarn classes, and they can fill you in. No bids were received on the township office building facelift, so we'll be sending it back out to bid. I'm not exactly sure when, but if there's any of the trustees or anyone that would like to make sure that I get that RFP out to a contractor that they know, please let me know. DTE is out right now, and they're trimming trees in the northeast section of the township. And so please use caution when you are driving in those areas where they're trimming trees. Last Thursday, I attended the Capitol Conference with MTA, and that was good too, but we kind of got sidetracked on the mass transit, and we're working on that as well. So hopefully we'll have good news and that'll get voted down. So next, we can move into our correspondence. Tonight, we have Zoning Board of Appeals final meeting minutes of October 23rd, 2019. We have Planning Commission meeting minutes of January 28th, 2020. And we have Election Commission minutes of October 2nd, 2019. So at this time, we will go to citizens' comments. And like Trustee DePalma said, the item that we added on our agenda has to do with House Bill 5550, which is regarding mass transit. So if anyone wanted to speak toward that as well, you're welcome to come up. So during citizens' comments, we ask that you stand at the podium and direct your comments to the board. We will be happy to answer any questions at the end of the meeting. Please state your name, and although it is not required, we also ask that you state the city, township, or village in which you live. Comments shall be courteous and limited to 3 minutes per speaker. So is there anyone that would like to speak? Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Ms. Thurman, for letting me know about this meeting so I could come up and talk to you all real quick. My name is Glenn Venner. I am the founder and president for American Sportsmen for Veterans. We are based right here out of Ortonville. I live in Ortonville, been here for the past 20 years. And is what we're looking to ask for all of your help with is a resolution for a charitable gaming license. This is our 4th year. All of our storefronts here, a lot of the companies work with us, and they have ever since we started here. So Mr. Fred, I don't know where he went, but he works with us also. We do a wild game cookout here at the Brandon Community Park, and Fred always helps us out there. He gives us the park. So you
He's
can
back there now.
Oh, there he is. Thanks, Fred, for everything. So, in the past here, I got to have the pleasure to work with the community here with the Parks and Rec program, so I got to know everybody here, Mr. Weinbrand himself, and just feel very blessed to know all of you. And I met Kathy probably 5 or 6 years ago, and you've been really good, so I appreciate that. With this being said, real quick, I got a couple minutes. In the 3 years, we're on our 4th year now, we've took over 1,300 veterans and first responders out hunting, fishing, hiking, camping. We take them to sporting events. We take them hiking. Like I said, we do a lot out here at Davison Lake and the trails. We'll do that. We do. I work with a lot of other organizations. We're with 7 other organizations throughout Michigan. Operation Injured Soldiers, the Wheeling Team 457, Wounded Warriors. Mike Avery Outdoors, he works with us. It's really about what we got going on here. Our next big event here in Ortonville is August 1st. We do have, where is that here? I have a copy of our bylaws if you'd all like to see it. I have a trifold for each one of you that tells you us about, or will tell you all about our organization. And that's really about all I got. So I'm just asking for all of your blessings. You can ask pretty much any storefront here in our town about our organization, and they'll give you a good word. I mean, everything that we do, we go in. We've never been turned down from anybody here, and every event we do, they're all on board. So, and especially Joe from Papa Bella's. So, we got to remember him and keep him in our prayers. So, with that, I think Ms. Thurman has a copy still. If not, I have a copy with me.
We have that on our agenda, so
Okay.
we all have a copy.
Awesome.
of the
So again,
resolution.
thank you for your time, and God bless all of you.
But if you have, you said
before
you
I
have a trifold.
I do.
do you want to?
Before I forget, to all of our military and first responders, thank you. Thank you very much for your service. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to know when the wild game dinner is.
August 1st.
August 1st, that is it, okay, okay.
August 1st, right here at the park. We're expecting over about 550 people have already replied saying they're coming. We got 4 live bands. Last year, we kind of did like a Alice Cooper tribute band, which were awesome, but very loud. And
Wait, you have live music?
Live music, yep. We
Nobody
have,
contacted me.
we have flyers all over town, man, everywhere. Fred, come on, you got to get on the ball. So, awesome. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you, Glenn. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on any of our agenda items this evening? Everybody's being quiet. All right, we will continue with our meeting then. Next is our consent agenda, since we have no discussion items tonight. On our consent agenda, we have regular meeting minutes of February 3rd, 2020. Regular bills in the amount of $22,731.13. Prepays in the amount of $371,918.14. Township benefits from payroll account of $240,369.31. Trustees' timesheets in the amount of $728. Is there any discussion on our consent agenda tonight? Someone like to make a motion to approve as presented?
So approved. Or sorry, so moved.
I'll support.
Okay. I have a motion by trustee Marshall, and it is seconded by clerk Allen to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. And seeing no unfinished business, we can move right into our new business. The first item of new business is our conditional rezoning for 2370 Granger Road, and this is our second reading. This was brought to the board at our last meeting for first reading. I think at that time we had all kinds of questions. So if there were any additional questions between then and now, I'm hoping that they all got answered. So, there is a suggested motion on the back page. Would anyone like to make that?
I'll make the motion as presented.
Okay.
I'll second.
Any discussion? And just so everyone knows, this is to change zoning from residential estates to a conditional recreation. Okay. All right, so the motion is to adopt for second reading an application for an ordinance amendment to rezone and change the zoning map for parcel 0321-100-004, which is 2370 Granger Road, from RE Rural Estate to a conditional REC Recreation, per the attached rezoning documents that were submitted with the application. And we had a good chance to look through all those documents at our last meeting. Okay, and that motion is made by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by trustee Cordella. And if there's no discussion, we'll go ahead and do a roll call.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
No.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries. That happened quick, didn't it? Okay, next on our agenda is our OTV lease renewal agreement. And hopefully everybody got a chance to look through this. They want to make a considerable increase to the amount, and in looking at it, we were pretty low compared to other surrounding areas on what we were paying for the lease. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? I know Terry brought up to me the math, and let's see, that it works out closer to $840 a month.
Okay, I have two questions.
Sure.
Number one, the motion is to enter into a 3-year, when up here they're offering it 8 years.
Yeah,
why would
so
they
that
do-
should be 8 years.
Okay.
I didn't change that part. I had to change the
Nope,
other
that's
part.
fine.
Sorry.
And then, there's enough room in the budget for this increase, right? From everything that I had seen?
Yeah, yeah, if you looked at your report, I think
Right.
they've got like close to $300,000 in their
Right.
coffers.
I just didn't know if we were gonna have to amend the line.
Oh, the
though.
line item?
Right, there's enough money there, I just wasn't sure about the line item.
You know, and that's a good point.
I'm fine with the change, I mean, it's a good location, it's not that expensive still, I feel. I just wanna make sure our budget is correct for it, that's all. As long as the money's there, I'm okay with it.
So to clarify, we're going from 655 to 850?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
For 8 years, we got that locked in?
right.
right, and that's a good for
That's a
lock-in.
really good deal
That's a
Yeah.
good price for
for us.
commercial.
But do you have your calculator handy?
Yeah.
Can you do 850, or are we gonna make it 840, which is,
Well, if you go by what they say, and it's $6 a square foot, then it's $840.
Well, who wrote
Go
the
for
$6 per square?
$10 a month.
We did.
that's what they sent me.
That's what they said.
I think they
I
would
just wanted
be
everything to be
okay.
the same.
Yeah.
They said it's going to be,
So if you do 850 times 12, what do you get?
I get 10,200.
Okay, so we're gonna have to amend the
6,800.
budget.
Well, but it's not gonna be a whole 12 months because we're not starting to pay this till, or are they back?
Well, we were at 8,340. I don't think that's gonna
Oh,
be
that's not
enough.
gonna be enough,
Right.
right. So you're talking about another $2,000, which is, it's there, it's fine. But yeah, we'll have to come back and amend before the end of the year.
Either that, or we can just do a budget amendment now with this and increase it by $2,000.
Okay, I didn't know if we could add on to the motion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody's made the motion yet, so
True.
Before you do that, I need to make a motion to abstain on this. The landlord, our client's in my law firm, so I probably shouldn't vote on that.
well, we have to have a motion
Yeah, I
for
know.
you to do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Can I make the motion to abstain from voting for myself?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll second. Yeah, it won't
Okay.
begin, and it won't begin till May, so actually this year it will only be 8 months.
Well, even if we don't
the
spend all
annual.
of it in
Right.
it'll just go to.
So
carry
this is
forward.
their writing. What I was saying is this front page, isn't this your writing,
Yes.
Kathy? So their front page does say 10,200. So if you take that by 12, it is 850. I think it's just in Kathy's calculation of the $6.
Well,
So it
they
needs to be
sent me the
$850.
$6 too.
Oh, I don't see that.
Well, anyways, we have a motion on the floor by
Sorry, yeah, we're
trustee
still doing
Rumble,
that.
and it is seconded by trustee DePalma, to allow trustee Rumble to abstain from voting on this OTB lease renewal. So we need to vote on that first. Any questions or comments regarding the abstention of trustee Rumble? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote. Yeah, we have to do a roll call,
Okay.
because there's got to be a certain amount.
Allen?
Yes.
Darno?
Yes.
DePalma?
Yes.
Cordella?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Rumble?
think I can vote on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
can
You do.
Vote on your contention.
Then
You
yes.
vote on that.
Thurman,
Oh,
Yes, motion carries unanimously.
that's right, we're voting on
Okay.
that.
So now we'll get back to the
Okay.
lease renewal.
Now we're gonna get into that. Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones that came up with this.
I see
the
now.
$6 a square foot.
Yeah, it does say in that letter. I was just looking in the agreement. But the agreement that we would be signing, that's just their letter to us. The agreement says 10-2, so I would go with that. Because that's what you'd be signing, is that lease. And in there, I don't see anywhere that it says $6 a square foot. It just says annually 10,200, $850 per month.
Right, the square footage is not in the lease agreement.
Right,
That-
that's
They were
$6.
just giving us comparisons.
An average,
Okay.
yeah. So it's gonna be $850 per month, 10-2 per year.
And I did give this to the Ortonville Village Manager, and he thought the amount was a little high. That was his comment.
I think the length of the contract's a little extensive. I mean, typically, we do 3-year contracts.
Yeah, but
Right.
there is a out clause in the
Okay.
lease, so we can get out of it
No,
if they have to move or whatever.
okay.
We don't have to stay there for the whole 8 years.
How long,
they-
we've
they
been
just-
there though for a while now, haven't we?
A long time,
Yeah, about 6 years, I think.
longer than that,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think what they want to say is they know they're raising it up. That's why they want to extend it out, so that we know that they're not going to raise it
Bump
in
it
the
every
next 8
Every,
years.
right, and that's why I'm fine with the 8 here. I don't see, like you said, and there is an out clause.
There's an out clause, what, after 3 years, Kathy?
No, I think it's,
Whenever we want?
let's see.
Yeah.
You just have to give notice.
And all of the, like, the maintenance, the insurance, utilities, taxes, all that's not changing of who's paid for it, correct, in the past? Like that part of the lease, they didn't change?
I'm sorry. If tenant fails, 7 days. I'm looking for the out clause.
I can't find it either.
Says this lease may be modified or amended in writing if the writing is signed by the party obligated under the amendment. So can you change the time from there?
Very good. Back
Okay.
page.
Okay. Yeah, because he referred to it in his letter, too.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
If the township sees the need to move spaces or dissolve the cable network, there will be no financial burden to leave our space early. It was in his letter. So,
I didn't draft that, though.
I was gonna ask you if you did.
I didn't draft that, but I do a lot of their other stuff.
you know, we could, if we want something more clear, we could amend this and have our attorney put in a clause.
So I was going to suggest, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, if
Good
it's in the
idea.
letter, to me, that's not guaranteed because it's not the
Legal
lease we're
and binding.
signing. Yeah, it's not.
Right.
And they don't want to start till May 1st, so it's only March. We have a month. We can, if we can get it back by the April meeting.
Yep, I agree.
I'm good with it. I just want to make sure there's an out clause and
Okay, so what I have would be to enter into and approve the 8-year lease renewal for 433 Mill Street as presented, and amend the budget by increasing, let's see. And I don't have the line in front of me. I don't either, but I think it was.
Oh,
But I did find it.
it's, the rental expense line, right?
Okay, we'll just call it the rental, increase the
got the
rental
number.
expense line.
I got the number if you want it.
Okay,
705-748-851.000.
Where are these numbers at?
That's right, on the budget.
and increase it by $2,000. We should be good.
That's more than enough, yes.
And ask the township attorney to add an early termination clause to the lease document. Okay? Does that cover everything?
Yep.
All right, and who would like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Could you read it through?
Yep,
Yeah, thank
I'll
you.
try again.
All right.
Did anyone want a second before I read it through again?
I'll second that.
Okay. All right, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by clerk Allen, to enter into and approve the 8-year lease renewal for 433 Mill Street as presented, and amend the budget by increasing the rental expense line 05.
705.
Wait, oh.
705. Do you want me to read it back?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
She's got it over
705-748-851.000 by $2,000, and have the township attorney add an early termination clause to the lease document. All good? Any discussion? All right, at this point, we can take a vote.
Cornell,
Yes?
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble. Oh, sorry,
Abstaining.
sorry. Allen? Yes. Thurman?
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. All right, next on our agenda is the Comcast, and it's not a renewal, so we can change that on the agenda. They sent me a renewal agreement, and I called them up and I said, send me the old one. And they said, oh, we made a mistake. It's not a renewal, this is an original agreement, so we can take that. I didn't change the agenda. So it's just Comcast agreement. So Comcast is asking to bring service into the township on M15, and it's for a portion that's out in front of the high school, and it's probably like a quarter mile north and a quarter mile south. There is a map that I think was included
It's on the back page.
on the back page, and it's a little, yeah. That building off there is the high school.
And it is business only.
Well, it's down M15. I don't know, it
It's
might,
business only. He
Is
called
that
and
what
left
it
a
said?
message on my phone and said,
Oh.
make sure you know,
It's
no
just-
residential, all business.
okay, all right. Well, thank you for sharing that. So the franchise agreement we have with Charter is non-exclusive. Anyone can come into our township as long as we approve it and offer cable services. The problem is they have to install all their own lines. So if they're making that financial decision to install their lines, and there's already lines already out there by another company, it's not real cost-effective to do that, especially out here where the homes are so far apart. So So we don't usually get other franchisees coming into the township asking to offer service. So I was kind of, because I do get people that want a choice on their cable service for sure, but chances are they don't get it, so. So I think this is kind of a good thing.
Groveland Township has Comcast.
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
Groveland's Comcast, we're a charter. But yeah, I've heard it before, so what is our agreement with charter? Is it 5% also? Okay.
That's as much as we can.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make the motion to enter into and approve the Comcast Uniform Video Service Local Franchise Agreement with a 5% fee as presented.
Would someone like to second?
Support.
That was you, Bob?
Yes.
All right, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by trustee Marshall to enter into and approve the Comcast Uniform Video Service Local Franchise Agreement with a 5% fee as presented. Any discussion? More discussion, I should say. Seeing none, roll call, please.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnall,
Sure. Yes.
Sherman,
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. All right, next we will go on to item D, which is the Carlisle Wortman Consulting Agreement. We've been using Carlisle Wortman for several years. I'm not sure when we started, but they've been here the whole time I've been here. So the township attorney looked over their proposed agreement and does not object to it. And it's for a 3-year consulting services, and they give their rates that they charge, and they say they haven't increased them. What did they say? In 10 years.
Right, since 2010.
Yeah. So any questions or concerns on this?
Is this the same engineering company that?
No, it's
Col-
not an engineer.
It's not, okay.
Planner.
Planner, okay. Is this
So
the same?
They're the ones doing our master plan, helping us with
Okay,
our
are they the ones that put us on a delay with the parks? That was a different, okay.
So you're probably thinking of HRC.
Oh, that's okay, that's it.
Did
I
we-
can't keep them all straight.
Did we want to put this out for bids with other planning companies or not?
Well, I know when we were looking for someone to do our master plan, we put that out for bids. And they were the lowest.
Okay.
So, but we have not put our planning services out for bid.
Have we been
I
satisfied
think we
with them?
I think we have in the past. Yes, I think we are. I know at one point we were a little concerned on the way they were charging us for things, but that's pretty much been resolved.
Okay. I do remember them being the lowest for the master plan.
Master plan.
Did you say they haven't raised their prices in the last 10 years?
They are saying that.
Oh. Well, is that true, or do we know, or what?
I don't.
Because I'm looking at
I
this
don't know.
hourly charge.
That's for services that aren't covered by our contract.
Oh, I see, okay.
So then you pay their hourly rate. And that increases every year.
Do we know?
Not by much, though.
No. I'll make the motion as presented.
I'll support it.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble and it is seconded by trustee DePalma to enter into and approve the 3-year agreement for consulting services from Carlisle Wortman as presented. Any other questions, concerns, or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. That brings us to our cleanup days contract. So this is pretty similar to the contracts we've had in the past with Bedrock Express. And our cleanup days that I discussed with them would be June 20th and August 22nd for this year. And there's a little history on how many loads we've been collecting. What's nice about doing business with Bedrock is they allow us to send residents to their CMI location throughout the week and through most of the year, which is helpful. If they have any cement or metal, they can't take just anything, just cement and metal mostly,
And wood.
and wood, yep.
On a side note, they do allow us to take all the rocking and raking stuff there every year at no cost, which is really nice for our township. And Groveland, for the people that we rock and rake.
Yep, it's all good.
Make the motion as presented.
I'll support.
To support.
I heard her louder,
That's fine.
Sorry.
which is unusual, 'cause usually she's
Got her voice
quiet.
She got her voice back, so I'm letting her, I'll let her
Let her
have
use
it.
it,
She
yeah.
can finally talk. She can finally get some supports in there, or some voices in.
All right, I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by clerk Allen to enter into and approve the 2020 cleanup, recycling, and refuse collection agreement with Bedrock Express Limited as presented. Any further discussion, concerns? No? Roll call, please.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. So moving right along, we have our gravel request for our 2020 gravel road projects. So we can use our tri-party funds, and for tri-party, we pay 1/3, the county pays 1/3, and the road commission for Oakland County pays 1/3. So if we have 15,000 that we're putting in, they're gonna come up with 30,000 between the other two. So it's what we can spend is 45,000 if we contribute 15 for tri-party. So we also have in our budget $30,000 for road repair. So if we combine that with the 15,000 we have for tri-party repairs, that gives us a total of $75,000 to spend on gravel for this year. And we have roads that can use it. After our meeting we had with the road commission, we went through our list of what roads need it, because we rotate, and I've got, if anyone wants to see this, it's pretty neat, a map in my office, and we have different colored lines on it on what year we added gravel to certain roads. So we're just kind of rotating around the township. So what I'd like to do is spend that $75,000 for graveling, and it would be for Kent Road, because not all of Kent Road got finished. There's just a small area that did not. And then do Granger Road between Hadley and Perry Lake, Granger between Sashabaw and Woolley, Hurd Road between Granger and Hummer Lake Road. And that ought to eat up all the money if we have enough to do all those.
I thought we were unsure as how much money we had because we had money still set aside for the Sashabaw.
Yep, and that's on here too. So I called them about how much would we owe for the Sashabaw paving project. And after discussing it, he said we would owe approximately $250,000 and not to anticipate that bill coming in until fall. So to pay that, we would use our $90,000 of saved Metro Authority funds. We're going to get $12,000 more for Metro Authority. And then we still have more tri-party funds. And we would use 127 of our tri-party funds. And so if you multiply that by 3, you get 147,381. So if you add the 147,381 to the 96,19 and the 12, you get $250,000.
Okay, so I guess my question was, we have finalized what is actually going to be owed for Sasha.
Well,
At least according to them.
Yeah, according
Okay,
to them.
all right,
That's
right,
the
okay.
approximation they're giving me. I don't know. And we'll have a little bit left over in tri-party.
Okay.
What is the number at right now, by the way,
What's what number at?
that we paid for the Sassaval Road thing? Or that they
I don't
charged us,
have
I
that,
should
I
say.
don't have that with me, Chris.
You don't have that?
You'll have to ask me and I'd have to research how much exactly we paid.
Okay, because I know that went from like 800,000 to 1.2 to 1.8 to 2.1 to 2.2.
Right, but then the feds pay 80%, and then I think we split the rest with the road commission, and so the amount that we actually have to pay.
Yeah, we have to pay, but the taxpayers have to pay that full amount.
Yeah.
Okay. Me as a federal taxpayer, I have to pay that amount.
Actually, it's a good deal in order to pave a road.
So my question, Kathy, would be is what we have left. I know you got the gravel, if you look on page 2, you got your road improvement list. And I know all this gravel is mentioned, but then there's the different drainage, forestry, and paving projects. So what we would have left, is it enough to start saving for those future projects?
So the road commission for Oakland County gets money that they have to spend on us to maintain our roads. So a lot of this, the drainage and forestry, that's on maintenance, so we don't pay for that.
Oh, okay. So you're okay with spending that amount and having, we would have about 66,000 after saved, because that's in our committed still?
That's what we have in tri-party. So we would be spending about 64,000. Terry came in and we figured out about
Okay.
64,000 of it.
So we'd have 2,000 left.
Yeah, in our
Right.
committed.
Well, there was a lady at the counter today asking when gravel's gonna hit Perry Lake Road, because it's really bad. So I got this out of my packet and I showed her that are going to hopefully pass buying gravel, but it would not be on her road.
And Perry Lake Road was done a couple years ago. I mean, the part that gets used the most.
She was happy, though, to know that there are other roads that will be getting it.
Does anyone want to make the motion? That's suggested. It should be a suggested motion.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Marshall to allow the supervisor to spend $75,000 for graveling the section of Kent Road that didn't get gravelled in 2019, Granger between Hadley and Perry Lake, Granger between Sashabaw and Woolley, Hurd Road between Granger and Hummer Lake Road, and to use committed and budgeted road funds to pay for the gravel and the final Sashabaw paving project invoice. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. So that brings us to dust control. So again, we're looking at doing the same dust control that we did last year, and what we do is we put 5 applications of chloride on the more used roads. The less used secondary roads will get only 4 applications, and it's been working well. Usually the complaints that I get of not enough chloride are on the roads that are getting 5 applications. So, and believe it or not, in the past, I did get complaints on too much chloride. So that's why we went to 4 applications on the less used roads.
They
So
do
would anyone like to make this motion?
I'll make the motion as presented.
kill the
Okay.
beast.
I'll support.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by clerk Allen to submit a request to the Road Commission for Oakland County to accept their 2020 blanket program for 5 applications of chloride to the roads listed on the chart above, and 4 applications of chloride to the remaining secondary roads in Brandon Township for a total of $81,752.42. Any further discussion?
Yeah, question. What did we pay last year for this?
I think I wrote that down in the first paragraph, didn't I? Or somewhere in
I
here.
don't see it. Last year was 81.7 right here.
81,752.
There, I thought I wrote it down. 81,752.
I see.
Exactly.
Exact same.
Oh, so that's the same that we're paying this year. It
Yeah.
didn't go up.
No increase.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I don't know
wondering.
what the salon
Hey,
work
hey.
is.
These people.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Allen?
Yes.
Darnell?
Yes.
DePalma?
Yes.
Cordella?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Rumble?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Okay. So now we have an application for a nonprofit. And Glenn, maybe you want to come back up here, and if we have any questions, you'll be handy. So any organization that wants to apply for gaming license to do like any kind of
Bingo night.
raffle tickets.
Yeah, I can tell you what
Okay.
exactly what it's intended
All right,
for.
that
So
sounds
we get in a lot of donations. We're a 501c3 carrier. We do a lot of raffles. We'll do a lot of online raffles through the website and through our through Facebook and stuff like that, Instagram. Like when we do our events, everything that comes into our events is donated. So for the first 3 years of our organization, we didn't know by government we were supposed to have a gaming license. So last year it was brought up, said, hey, did you guys get your gaming license? And I'm like, had no idea because we're a nonprofit. We're all through the government. So I'm like, no, I looked into it and, yeah, we need our gaming license. So, I mean, there's definitely funds that come in that, that need to be accounted for through, and I didn't know that the Michigan Lottery had absolutely anything to do with a nonprofit organization, but they have everything to do with it, so we never knew that.
Yep. So in order to get the gaming license, we have to approve this resolution for them. And then
Did
they
you have
send- Then you
question?
send that on to the state, and then they issue the license. What's your question?
No, I didn't have a question. I was just gonna make the motion to,
To approve the gaming
approve
license
the
resolution
local-
for American Sportsmen for
Yes.
Veterans as presented?
yes, that's exactly what I was gonna do.
Okay,
And I'll
good.
support that.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by trustee Marshall to approve the gaming license resolution for American Sportsmen for Veterans as presented.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes,
What's your
absolutely.
website name?
It's www.americansportsmen, MEN, for veterans.org.
It's on the back of the brochure.
Oh, is it? Okay. I should have looked.
So
We also-
didn't you say
oh, I'm
this? You
sorry.
said you're in Brandon Township in Nortonville. Is your mailing address just your registered office? That's because that's not Ortonville.
Well, it's because we had to have a P.O. box through the government. So,
For your PO boxes.
right, our P.O. box is Clarkston, and our original secretary lived like 2 miles from there. So, and her husband was who did all of our financial stuff, so it worked out good.
Okay.
Any other questions, concerns, comments? Okay, seeing none, let's go ahead and do a roll call.
Darnell,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen. Yes. Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Next, we have a child
Thank you.
abuse proclamation presented by the clerk. Thank you.
Oh, I'm not ready for this. I lost my voice.
I'll make it.
Just kidding. We usually do this every year, although we didn't last year. I didn't get any paperwork on it, so I was actually happy to see it come back. Making April is Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the April is Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month proclamation as presented?
So moved.
I'll support.
I have a motion by trustee Marshall, and it is seconded by trustee DePalma. To approve the April is Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month proclamation as presented. Any other discussion or comments? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. That was easy. Next, we have a budget amendment presented by the clerk.
Oh. Okay, so when we did the budget last November, December, whenever it was, I did not put any funds in the senior center capital outlay for equipment, and we have a need to spend some money, and there's no money there.
And
It's actually-
we're talking CDBG money, right?
No.
No.
No. Last month, I spoke and said that CDBG had funds in their 17 money, and that we could pay for the lighting quote that Faye had gotten to put outdoor lighting in our parking lots and make it safer. And the next day, I went and looked up the description for CDBG 2017 money, and it did not include lighting. Lighting had been in the description since 2010. It wasn't in 17, but it is in 18, 19, 20. But I can't touch that money until I spend the 2017 funds. So I'm asking to take $5,000 from our carry forward, put in the capital equipment, capital outlay 101-266-977.100 to pay for the lighting at our senior center.
And you're making that motion, right?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
I'll support it.
Thank you.
All right, any questions? And if we had our 2020 budget, we could see what our carry forward was.
Sorry. We can afford it.
We're fine.
I wouldn't ask if we couldn't afford it.
Okay, I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Rumble to move $5,000 from the general fund carry forward into the senior center equipment capital outlay 101-266-977-100 expenditures line to pay for $3,802 to Hush Electric LLC for the senior center additional exterior lighting and LED lamps. That will brighten up the place.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, let's do a roll call, please.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. So that brings us to our resolution to oppose House Bill 5550. I'll just read a little bit of this, like the very beginning and the end. The Regional Transit Authority, RTA, was initiated in 2012 to manage and secure transportation resources, significantly enhance mobility options, improve quality of life for residents, and increase economic viability for a recognized public transit region, which included the city of Detroit, Wayne County, Macomb County, Oakland County, and Washtenaw County. So in 2016, a regional 20-year 1.2 mil property tax increase ballot measure was defeated, losing in Macomb and Oakland County, while Wayne and Washtenaw voters approved it. So in Lansing, they came up with House Bill 5229, and they did not, and that was to make it so if you had 3 contiguous counties and one voted no against it, they would still be
Financially responsible.
financially responsible and still have to pay, because they were included in what they call the, what did they call it? They're supposed to benefit from it. Well, if you would see that it comes in, I mean, their old plan, it came up into Pontiac, and that's as far as it went, as far as bus service. So really, the majority of our township would not receive any benefit from it. But we would be on the hook for paying for it. That bill more or less died, and then they came up with a new bill that was very similar to it in the Transportation Committee, took it up, and that one got approved, even though there were quite a few people there opposing it. So this resolution is to oppose that House Bill 5550. And so the end of this is, now therefore be it resolved, the Charter Township of Brandon implores the members of the House of Representatives and the Oakland County Administration to oppose House Bill 5550 unless an opt-out clause is added, which would allow any of the Oakland County municipalities that are not expected to receive any direct benefit from the RTA to opt out and be excluded from the millage, or alternatively to allow the residents of the townships the right to vote on an RTA opt-out or opt-in option. I did that backwards. So now therefore be it resolved, the Charter Township of Brandon does hereby oppose and reject any state legislation which would create or allow a regional transportation authority, which allows for the exclusion of a member of the public transit region without a vote of the people, fails to protect the taxpayers of local municipalities by not allowing a vote on whether to opt out or opt in to the millage, does not provide a discernible benefit for the residents of many municipalities, and does not protect service area municipalities from future amendments or expenditures without a supermajority vote of the authority board or local resident input. And then it goes on to say all the people we're going to send this to.
So I have a question. How did, so 5229 got turned down?
Not necessarily turned down. It
It just died. Okay, so
Because
5229
they
died.
didn't have enough support to push it.
So now 5229 included Macomb County, but now 5550
No, 5229,
did not include Macomb either?
yeah, was not for, yeah. They opted out. Macomb, so there were four counties originally.
Macomb, Oakland, Wayne, and Washtenaw.
Macomb County opted out. We got a new county executive,
Who's trying to opt in?
and
Enforcement
from,
officer.
who is the past mayor of Ferndale, which is right on the southern border of Oakland County. So I think he's pushing more for the benefit of Ferndale, not for the benefit of the whole county.
So that's why we're stuck with it. Macomb was able to opt out because their
County
executive
executive
opted out.
for them.
We can't, we're fighting it because ours is not.
Well, our previous one did, this
Our
one
previous
won't.
right.
This one won't.
Okay, I was just trying to understand, because I'm like sitting here going, how did Macomb get out of it when it said Macomb was included? So, okay, thank you. I mean, I'm against it, I was just trying to understand.
Okay, anybody else have any other questions or comments?
Yeah, this needs to go away.
Yeah,
Again.
we can't afford it.
Third time.
So would someone like to make a motion to approve Brandon Township resolution to oppose House Bill 5550 and to affirmatively state local safeguards within any regional transit authority millage proposal
So moved.
as presented?
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Marshall, and it is seconded by trustee Cordella, to approve the Brandon Township resolution to oppose House Bill 5550 and to affirmatively state local safeguards within any regional transit authority millage proposal as presented. Any additional comments? Concerns? Okay, roll call, please.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes. Motion carries unanimously.
Again.
Yeah, so, and if we could get this done up
In the morning,
in the morning, yeah, because
Need to
they
get
might
it
be
out.
voting on it as early as tomorrow.
it'll be done first thing in the morning.
Get it out. Like,
Okay, that concludes all of our new business except for our closed session, so, we will be,
Do we wanna do citizen
Yeah, you wanna do
comments?
citizens' comments
yes,
first
we will
again?
do citizens' comments on anything, so we'll move that up on our agenda. So if there are any citizens that would like to make a comment this evening on any topic, we would be glad to hear what you have to say. Oh, yes, Glenn,
Ed forgot to let y'all
Come on
know
up.
that.
come on.
We do our monthly minute meetings on the first Tuesday of every month right here at the Brandon Library. We'd love to have you all come up there and see what we're all about, and 7 o'clock. 7 to 9, and we're going to get it changed to 6 to 9. So 2 hours just hasn't been enough, so
Guys talk too much.
that's got a lot going on, man. It's we've been truly blessed, so hopefully we'll see you all up there.
What day is that again?
The first Tuesday of every month. And it's 7 to 9, and we're hoping to have it changed to 6 to 9.
Yeah, because the library closes at 8:45.
Yep. And we're always pushing it. They love us, though, so they put up with us. So thank you.
Yep, thank you. Would anyone else like to speak on to anything tonight?
Bless
Bless
you.
you.
Bless you. Okay, quiet group. So we will continue with our next item, and that would be closed session for legal opinion. Bless you. Thank you. So would someone like to make a motion to move to closed session to meet with the township attorney to discuss trial or settlement strategy in pending litigation and to consider the purchase or lease of real property?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And that motion was made by Clerk Allen, and it was seconded by Trustee Cordella. And we have to do a roll call.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell, De Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously, so we can move to closed session.